Burnout's a serious problem that can creep into many aspects of your life. You lose all interest, all motivation, and it can also happen to gamers too. I've been through it many times. I'll tell you the story of what caused it and what I did to overcome it. But before that, let me tell you a little bit about my gaming history. I've been playing video games for a long time. Like a very long time. I'm talking about the days where you had to blow into a cartridge to make it work. I'm still not sure if that actually did anything or not though. Anyways, the first game that captivated me as a kid was a claymation puzzle game called The Neverhood. I also played the Pokemon games on the Game Boy Color, and many couch co-op games. At that time, I wouldn't say video games were at the forefront of my hobbies. I enjoyed kicking the footy with my mates until the sun went down, but it was a fun thing to do when hanging out with friends. But I came to appreciate games more as I was becoming a teenager. Now I do have some memories of playing Halo 2 on Vista, but it wasn't a constant thing. So when I had the opportunity to play games online, it felt special. Several years later, I caught the tail end of Modern Warfare 2's life cycle and got Xbox Live.
Let's do this.
I'd say it was somewhere around here that gaming actually became one of my hobbies, or even an unhealthy obsession at times. I went to the midnight release for Black Ops, and after that, I'd go on to play Call of Duty games almost exclusively. It was fine for a couple of years, but then I really started disliking the multiplayer experience. I had a hard time even selecting it in the main menu. It was around the time that Mob of the Dead released, and my attention kind of shifted to zombies. It was a good change of pace. I went for high rounds, sometimes even did Easter eggs. I just spent so many hours shooting those damn skin bags. Naturally, I got super invested in the story. I'd loved watching those super long breakdown videos compiling all the details and intricacies. That piqued my interest for a couple of years. And then when the COD cycle would happen with Ghosts, I gave it an honest go. I didn't mind the multiplayer and the extinction mode, but the multiplayer didn't really catch my attention. I didn't plan on buying the next year's game, Advanced Warfare, and I didn't. It wasn't because of the community sentiment around advanced movement. I would say Burnout burned in. So I went off to experience new games. I'd heard about a beta developed by ex-Infinity Ward devs, Titanfall, and I was really excited. These were the guys who made Modern Warfare 2 after all. It was also around this time that I bought myself a PC and truly started to dabble in PC gaming. I can definitely tell you that Titanfall on the PC was right up my alley. The art style instantly caught my attention and the gameplay was smooth as butter. In the background, I'd also be paying attention to the COD cycle, while also paying attention to another favourite series of mine, Halo. I'd moved back to Xbox to relive my love for the Halo campaigns. Fast forward a little bit and Black Ops 3 was coming out. I took notice of the similar mechanics to Titanfall, and needless to say, I was interested. How is Treyarch going to put their spin on this futuristic setting and the advanced movement? And I was interested to see where zombies would go. I spent an alarming amount of time on Black Ops 3, both on PC and Xbox, and I would return to it for many years. It's now 2016, and I see that Titanfall has a sequel coming out, so it's a no-brainer I'm going to pick that up too. After complaints from the community that Titanfall's story was only told through multiplayer matches, Respawn dropped a banger of a campaign. I mean, talk about a great story. I'd go as far to say it's in my top 3 favourite campaigns I've ever played. I should call her. All was good for a while. Then my friends and I would return to Call of Duty, and to my surprise there was a new game mode, at the cost of a campaign. We'd never played a battle royale before. It was fresh. We must have sunk hundreds of hours into it. I got very fond memories chasing those highs of victory and many nail-biting losses. The group chat was always buzzing with new messages. Everyone was eager to find out when everyone's going to be online. We mixed it up. We'd play Blackout, we'd play the multiplayer, and occasionally I'd persuade them to join in on some zombies. When 2020 had rolled around, the next big game to bring us all back together was the OG Warzone. Everyone was stuck at home, so the timing was kind of perfect. Plunder was our go-to game mode. At one point the group chat was renamed to Plunder 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 until death. It kept us entertained while the world was brought to a halt. Like Blackout, it was fun, until I started getting a little disinterested. So one day on a whim, I rediscovered Apex Legends, around the time of Season 5. We had briefly played at launch, and then kind of forgot about it. But once again, I thought I found a game that I could spend countless hours in. The mechanics were close enough to what I was familiar with, and the movement and the art style were just fantastic. I dived in deep. I spent hours in the firing range, just practicing everything, from flashy movements to new strategies to use in game. By the time Season 12 or 13 rolled around, Apex had lost all its appeal for me. The game was becoming stale, and I just didn't enjoy it at all, especially living in a region of the world where the player base is a little bit smaller, so it made the lobbies very competitive and repetitive. But I couldn't ignore how I felt, and it was at this point that I kinda gave up on gaming for the most part. Sometimes I'd unwind and have a couple of games, but it didn't feel the same. By now, you've probably seen a pattern forming. I can certainly see one while reflecting. This sort of thing was bound to happen. So I went on a break. Then when I returned, I just still wasn't feeling it. My gaming sessions were very brief. Sometimes I'd hop on for a game, then hop right off, and I was still kinda there, until a little while ago, when I picked up a couple of games on a Steam sale. Among them was GTA 5. After addressing some problems I had with it, I'm having a blast for the first time in what feels like a long time. It's kinda brought back that magic that I used to feel about games a long time ago. Not only that, but I'm optimistic about other games that are coming out soon. As of recording this video, Payday 3 just released this morning, and it looks like I'm jumping on with the boys tonight. Spoiler, that didn't happen. So you've heard my story about burnout. How can you avoid it and how can you overcome it? Here are 3 tips that I've found have worked for me. Looking back, I can see that I kinda was just sticking to the one type of game too much. So trying out different genres definitely is helpful. Don't limit yourself to playing one type of game. Explore new possibilities. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, so I've re-downloaded the Telltale versions of the games, and I plan on replaying those games as well. They're very different from the games I usually play, but they're fun and they tell some good stories. Go back and play old games. Sometimes nostalgia's a powerful motivator. Revisit some of your favourite games from the past and relive the memories. I've replayed the Halo games again, and it was an excellent experience, just to go back and remember the details I'd forgotten about. And remember, it's alright to step away from games for a bit. Games will always be there for you when you're ready to play again. If you feel burnt out, take a break and do other things. These tips might seem obvious, but they've really helped me. I've learned to appreciate gaming more and enjoy it again. So that's how I dealt with gaming burnout. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. I'm sure you can do the same. You just have to find what works for you. Gaming's supposed to be fun, not stressful and frustrating. So if you ever feel burnt out on gaming, try those tips or find something that helps you cope. Have you ever experienced gaming burnout? And what did you do about it? If you want to find out why these classic games aren't safe to play right now, then you better watch this video. Anyways, as always, look alive, you're on at 5. Later guys.